the Chow Chinchow, JoesphGames's here, and welcome to the semi-eggs video for the Pokemon Volt White Egglocke. Yes, I did mention a few weeks ago we are going to be starting a Volt White Egglocke on Valentine's Day this year, so I've decided to actually go ahead and make the semi-eggs video. So here we go. If you don't know how to semi-eggs, please watch the video. If you do, then you know what you're doing already. I'm perfectly okay with you sending me eggs. The email address is jpm92@hotmail.com, and of course if you put in the subject line Egglocke, I'll know what you're talking about. But if you don't know how to send me eggs, here's the tutorial for you. First thing you're going to find in the description below is a link to Pokegen. Pokegen is a Pokemon ROM hacking tool which allows you to generate Pokemon in 4th and 5th gen, and it works really nicely. It's a generation tool. It allows you to gen Pokemon. It is awesome. It is what you use to make X. There are others available, but Pokegen I believe works best. There's even one Pokemon creators for like iPhone and Android as well, but I'm using Pokegen here, and we're doing this on the PC. Anyway, so there's going to be a link down in the description below to that. Download that and unzip it, and of course it should look like this when you open it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go to options, and we want to select target game, and we want to set black and white as our target game. So there we go, we've now set black and white as our target game. The reason why we're doing this is because we're playing Volt White, and Volt White is a hack of white. So that is what we're doing. We're playing Volt White, so we're doing a hack of white. So that's why we need Volt White. So the next thing we need to do, don't worry about the PID. We'll get that in a minute. We'll get that later. That's not important now. Species. This is the Pokemon you want to generate. Now, I do ask for two things in this section. I ask for one, you do not send me legendaries, because legendaries, they won't work. They're not for Egglocks. Don't send me legendaries. You can send me like pseudo legendaries. That's it. That's the word. Pseudo legendaries. You can send me pseudo legendaries, but you can't send me legendaries. Because legendaries are illegal. Legendaries are always illegal in Egglocks. Anyway, and you can only send me the lowest form of that Pokemon chain. So, for example, if you were to send me a pseudo legendary, you wanted to send me a Solomont, send me a Bagon. Please send me a Bagon if you're going to send a Solomont. Don't send a Solomont, because I probably wouldn't accept the Solomont. Or I'd probably change your Solomont into a Bagon because I know what you're trying to do, but you didn't actually do it. So please, just send me the Bagon, and then I don't have to deal with the whole hassle of actually making your Solomont a Bagon. So please send me the lowest form of that chain that you want to send me. Send me a Bagon instead of a Solomont. Send me a Spiel instead of a Walrein. The default here is a Bombless Snow. Don't send me a Bombless Snow. Send me Snover. You understand what I'm getting at here. Nicknames. Again, that is up to you to generate. You can come up with your own nicknames, and I would prefer you did, actually. If you don't, I will nickname the Pokemon myself. But if you've decided on a nickname, just tick the box right here. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to build my Chinchow. So first off, I'm going to look for Chinchow up here. So Chinchow, there we go, Chinchow. And of course, we're going to call it Criminal, because Criminal is awesome. In fact, my Criminal is not here right now. He's in my bedroom fast asleep, so I'm going to leave him there. How do you spell it again? C-R-I-M-I-N-A-L. I think that's how you spell it. Anyway, and then we just tick the box, and it'll be legal. Experience. Leave this alone. Do not touch. Do not touch. Nature. Now, if you know the Pokemon you're sending me, you might have an idea of what nature you want to send me that would be beneficial to that Pokemon. If you don't, look it up on Smogon. It's probably the best way you're going to find out what nature is the best to send me, because this is a hard ROM hack and I want to have the best chance of actually beating it. It's probably one of Dreon's hardest ROM hacks he's ever made. So yeah, I'm looking that I would like to beat it because I beat Sacred Gold. I want to beat this too. So send me beneficial natures that benefit the Pokemon. And for me, I know that the beneficial nature here is calm. A calm-natured Chinchow is a good idea. You can also go bold. Bold is an interesting idea, and modest works too. Anything that boosts its like special attack or physical attack, its defenses, amazing. Anything to boost its physical attack or speed, not going to really help Chinchow, so not very useful. Held items. Now, if you are sending me a Pokemon that evolves via held item, send me the held item that evolves the Pokemon. Otherwise, you don't have to send me an item. If you don't want to, you don't have to send me an item. Sending items is really up to you. But if you are sending a Pokemon that evolves via an item, please send me the item it evolves with. For me, Lantern doesn't evolve by an item, so I'm going to put Leftovers on here because Leftovers is really, really cool and it is really, really beneficial to the Pokemon. So if your Pokemon doesn't evolve via an item, send me something that's beneficial to the Pokemon. For example, if you're sending me a Cubone, give me a Fit Club because that's very beneficial to Cubone. Leftovers here is very beneficial to our Chinchow because I love Bulky Lantern. Anyway, so happiness. Keep this at 0. This allows me to hatch your eggs very quickly. It's not going to be like one step and done, but like it might be if I put a fast hatch code on. It'll be like 2 or 3 steps and done. That's the way I want to keep it though. I don't want to. If you put it up to like 255, the maximum, I'll be here forever trying to hatch your egg, and I don't want to do that. Yes, that would make my egglocks take forever, and I had to use a super speed button, and I don't like using the super speed button. I'm not a big fan of the super speed button, so please don't do that. Please don't do that. Okay, so ability. If you don't know what ability is beneficial to your Pokemon out of the abilities it gets, please look it up on any of your sites. Like, for example, I'm using Pokemon Database. You can use Bulbapedia or Pokemon Database. You could use Celebi. You could use Smogon. You could use anywhere to look it up. Please look it up if you don't know what you're sending me. But let's check out what I'm sending myself here. So hang on a sec. I'm going to pause the recording and I'm going to bring up the Pokemon, my Pokemon website. So hang on. Okie dokie, we are back, and now we have Lantern up. We have Chinchow up here, and we can see Chinchow gets Illuminate, Volt Absorb, and Water Absorb as a hidden ability. Hidden abilities are allowed, but as long as you don't send me any like Sipgen abilities, so no Protean Cacleons. Please no Protean Cacleons, because that's illegal. I don't even know if Protean's illegal is an actual ability you can get in Pokegen, but you know, just send me 5th gen abilities. Some hidden abilities will be allowed, some others won't. But, you know, if you know what you're doing, you should be fine. And if you look it up, you should be fine again. So, I know that I get Volt Absorb, and I want Volt Absorb. So, I'm going to give myself Volt Absorb. So, I'm going to bring back up Pokegen here. I'm going to get rid of that for the moment in time. And let's get Volt Absorb. I want Volt Absorb. So, there it is, Volt Absorb. And it is, I believe it's my 2nd ability. So I'm going to do that. Basically, this little number here is the ability value. If your Pokemon evolves, you might have more than one ability. So when your Pokemon evolves, if you don't set this to either 1 or 2, it will default to whatever its first ability is. So, for example, Lantern's first ability is Illuminate, and then 2nd ability is Volt Absorb, and its hidden ability is Water Absorb. But the fact is, its first ability is Illuminate. So, if I don't set this to 2, when it evolves into a Lantern, it will actually take up its first ability, and it'll be back as Illuminate, and it will suck. Illuminate sucks. Okie dokie, so form. Leave this alone, including if you're sending me a Rotom. Leave this alone. I'll change the form of a Rotom in the game. Please leave this alone. Do not touch the form thing. country. Not important. Actually, you can set it to any country you want. Mine's going to stay where it is right now on UK, US, and Australia. That's where it's going to stay. It probably won't even matter to the game, so you can do whatever you want with that. Origin. Again, doesn't matter. It's where the Pokemon is coming from. You can send it to me. That won't do any damage to the egg. It won't result in a bad egg, so it's fine. Do whatever you want with it. As long as you're going for a game where your Pokemon was available. Also, don't send me like a black and white Pokemon and not have it available from black and white, because that might do some damage to it. You know, if you're just saying you're going to send me something from Colosseum and XD and it's actually a 5th gen Pokemon, that might actually do some damage here. Please don't do that. Anyway, so we're going to go from black. And Shiny Leaf, I don't think that does anything. There are ways to make your Pokemon shiny, but I don't think Shiny Leaf has anything to do with it. Right, male, female. Again, up to you. Your personal preference is up to you whether you want your egg to be male or female. It's really up to you. I'm going to pick female because Criminal Volanta was a female. And then egg. Tick this box and it should result in an as egg. So it should result in an as egg. So please tick this box. So tick the box and now you'll have an egg. Shiny. Again, there are ways to make your egg shiny, and if you do this, you can hatch as shiny. I do know ways to make eggs shiny, so if you do want to send me a shiny mon, I will set your egg as a shiny mon. And I don't know too much about how to generate an egg as shiny because it contains like trainer ID and stuff like that, and I don't want to deal with all that, and I don't know how to deal with all that. So if you want to send me a shiny Pokemon, just tick the box and hatch the egg as shiny. We'll see if the egg hatches as shiny, and if your egg does hatch as shiny in the Egglocke, I will go into Pokegen and I will generate it as a shiny. There we go. That's what I say. If your egg hatches as shiny during the Egglocke, I will go into Pokegen after that episode is done, and I will make sure your Pokemon is shiny. That's what I will do for you guys. Okay, so I don't want Lantern to be shiny because I don't really like Lantern's shiny sprite. And Pokerus here. If you know what you're doing and you want to send me mons with Pokerus, if you know how Pokerus works in Pokegen, feel free to do that. I don't understand it too much, so I'm going to leave it alone. But if you do know how to do it, then feel free to do it. Again, if you don't. Okay, so train the Met tab here. This doesn't really do anything to the game, so you don't have to mess about with it. But first thing I want to do here is level. I want to put that as level 1 because it will be met at level 1. And of course, the date doesn't matter. Where it's encountered doesn't really matter. So it shouldn't be anything to do with that. Should be fine. So I'm going to put caught in the water. I'm going to put in a... If you want your Pokemon to be in a special ball, this is how you do it. So, for example, if I want a fast ball Lantern, there we go. I can do that. I can put it in a fast ball. But since this LP is coming out on a Valentine's Day, I thought, you know what? Love ball. Let's do it. Love ball. And you can also select locations as well here, but that's not important either. It doesn't really matter where your Pokemon comes from. It won't damage the egg in any way, shape, or form. Stats and IVs. If you know what you're doing, feel free to give me good EVs and IVs. Actually, in fact, leave the EVs alone. Pokemon will gain EVs from leveling up and battling itself. But the IVs, you can set them all to 31 if you want. You can just generate random ones like I'm going to do. It's up to you with the IVs. I'm going to generate random ones, though, for me, because I want to get one that benefits my special defense, but also gives me good special attack as well. That actually looks pretty nice, but I want to see if there's one better. I want to see if I can find one better, because I want more special attack. That's the one thing I want. I want good special defense, but I also want good special attack, and HP would be nice too. So that's what I would want overall, if I can find a good one. Still looking, by the way. That's not bad. Again, I would like the special defense to be the best here. So I'm going to keep on generating until I find something that is special defense is the best. And then, of course, special attack and, of course, HP is what I would like. Actually, that one looks pretty nice. Hidden Power Grass, its highest stat is its defense at 27, but it's good special defense at 25, good special attack at 26, and a HP of 18. Attack is 7, and of course speed is 19. So, you know, I'm going with that. So that is my stats, and now movesets. If you again look up your Pokemon. So look up your Pokemon and figure out what is the best moveset to send me. I will accept any egg moves and any level 1 moves it learns from the 5th gen. So Pokemon Black and White. That is what I'm accepting here. So please do that. And I'm going to bring up Google Chrome here again. And we're going to go and see Lantern's 5th gen moveset. So any level 1 moves and any... Actually, hang on. Right, take off Pokegem for a second there, because my screen's getting a bit out of whack. Anyway, so any 5th gen moves that are at level 1. So, for example, he can learn Bubble, he can learn Supersonic. Those are his level 1 moves. Nothing else after that. So any move it can learn at level 1, and any egg moves that it can learn. This is the generation where Lantern actually gets really good egg moves. This is the set I usually use when people do 5th gen Egglocks. I usually go for Amnesia, Psybeam, Shockwave, and Water Pulse, because that is just amazing. That is like the literal best Lantern set you'll ever get to start off with. And then eventually you'll get Discharge, and eventually you'll get Thunderbolt and Thunder, and other great moves like Surf and Hydro Pump and Bubble Beam. These are great moves. And then Signal Beam later on, of course. This is just, with this way, it's the best way to start. So we know that we want Amnesia, Psybeam, Shockwave, and Water Pulse. So let's bring up Pokegen again. And let's... There we go. Okay, so we know that we get Amnesia. So we need to find that. So we need to find Amnesia. There it is. Amnesia. So we get that. We also want to get Psybeam. So there it is. Psybeam. We also want to get Shockwave, because we know we get that. And then, of course, Water Pulse, because we know we get that too. So there we go. Any egg moves, any level 1 moves. You can give me all egg moves, you can give me all level 1 moves. You can give me, if you want to only put 1 attack on there, that's fine. But make sure it's an actual level 1 move or an egg move. It doesn't matter how many moves you give me, as long as you give me the right moves. And here, PP ups. Leave these alone if you don't know what you're doing. If you do know what you're doing, you can sort them out. It's up to you whether you want to give me PP ups or not, but don't make it stupidly PP it up. If you're going to give me like 3 PP ups, like for example there, do that. You know, it'll automatically give me 32 PP in Amnesia. But don't, mess it up by saying I only have 15 amnesias and I have a maximum of 32, because that makes it a bit squiffy and it's weird. I've seen people throw out eggs for things like that, but I'm not going to do that for this. I'm not going to throw out any eggs if you do that, but, if you don't know what you're doing, leave it alone. And I'm going to leave it alone too. Okay, so OT Trainer / Mix. Again, this doesn't matter. It won't actually do anything. You don't need to deal with it. If you want to give me if you want to give markers to your Pokemon, that's fine. You don't have to do that. Ribbons, again, not important here, so leave them alone. The next thing we need to do now is to go back to our main, and of course now we need to find our Pokemon, the PID. So this is what we need to find our Pokemon now. So here we go. We need to go to search here. And again, we can look again for a shiny here by going to the tick box. So if I wanted shiny, there we go. Go to the tick box, and of course we can get a shiny. But I don't want a shiny, so it's not important to me. But of course, if it is important to you that you get a shiny, that's how to do it. That's another way you can make sure you get a shiny. So I want to make sure that I have the second ability of a Lantern, because again, ability here set to 2. So there we go. Criminal female, shiny no. There's my PID. Okie dokie. So there we go. That is my PID. And the next thing you want to do is to go over here to box 1, go to here, and then left click, right click, sorry, and then go to set. Go to set, and then we see our egg. So now we know that everything is fine and actually made an egg. Then we need to go file up here. And we go to save Pokemon from tabs. This is very important that you do this. So save Pokemon from tabs, and then you type in the name. You go to wherever you want to save it. You can go to wherever you want to save it, but for time's sakes, I'm going to go to my desktop here. So I'm going to save it on my desktop, and of course, there we go. Save it as save your file name as the nickname of the Pokemon. That you're gonna send me. Don't send it as the nickname of the Pokemon, because then I'll know what your Pokemon is, and that's just weird. So of course, there we go. And now we have our X. So now we're done with Pokemon. So the next thing we want to do is we want to bring up my mail app. We want to bring up mail. So here it is, mail. So I'm going to get rid of Pokemon for a sec, and I'm going to bring in mail here. So add window, add screen capture. There we go. And now we have mail. My mail app for Windows 10, which is kind of awful for a mail app for Windows 10, really. It kind of sucks. Anyway, so now we have mail. And what you're going to do here is you're going to go to new mail. And of course, what you need to do here is you need to send my email address, jepm92@hotmail.com. That is the email address you need to send it to. So jepm92@hotmail.com is your email address, and in the subject line you put Egglocke. There you go. You put Egglocke, and of course, then what we need to do, we go to insert here, we go to attach, and we go and find out where we put that Pokemon. So that is on my E, and there it is. There it is, the PKM file, and of course, there you go. And then you send that. You go to send, and you send that. But since I'm sending it from my own email address to my own email address here, it looks weird. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to send it myself. But that's what you do. You click on the send button, and there you go. Your egg will be sent to me, and I will have your egg, and then everything should be fine, and the Egglocke should start Valentine's Day. So if you're hyped for this Egglocke, then please let me know in the comment section down below. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and look forward to the start of our Pokemon Volt White Egglocke, and hopefully another victory for the Lantern Nation in Drayanu ROM hacks. Hopefully. But until next time, I'm JoesphGames's, and I am out. See you again before this shouting goes away. Anyway, see you again.